Hi, I'm Trevor, Junt, reporter from GESA Field. I'm still drying off after the big old rain shower that happened here. WSU faced USC, and USC Trojan horsed the Cougars. In the first half, they only scored one touchdown, and then in the second half, they exploded. They overall won 45-14.
This was the first game coached by interim head coach Dante Williams, after USC fired their head coach Clay Helton earlier in the week. The start of this game was electric for WSU and for the fans. The student section was massive, the biggest it's been all year. They caused USC to have a false start on their first drive and disrupted their offense. Keaton Slovis, the Trojans quarterback, was injured on that drive with an upper body injury. WSU then drove 89 yards down the field on their first drive and scored on a touchdown pass to Trevor Harris. USC's backup and true freshman, Jackson Dart, entered the game on the next drive. He did not look ready at all. He looked nervous and was inaccurate. He threw an interception on his first drive of the game. The first quarter ended with WSU up 7-0. After the pick, WSU was set up well after a deep shot to Calvin Jackson Jr. and a speed option to Max Borghi. They were on the USC 1-yard line for 4 straight plays, but got stood up 4 straight times. I will never understand the decision of running the ball out of shotgun on a short yardage situation, even accentuated more on the goal line. Jackson Dart came out on the next drive firing. It didn't lead to anything as they ended up punting, but he did start to gain some chemistry with Drake London. On the next drive, Trevor Harris grabbed another touchdown. He has really blossomed this year as a weapon. He is definitely Delora's go-to receiver anytime he's in trouble or in the red zone. The energy from the crowd was wild and infectious after this score. The WSU defense also played well the entire first half, applying pressure and blanketing the wide receivers. In the first half of this game, it was pouring rain, and I cannot emphasize this enough, it was pouring rain. There were some mistakes with the wet ball, whether it be drop passes, interceptions, or fumbles. In the first half, there were 4 turnovers. It was a sloppy half by USC with the turnovers and just some stupid, unnecessary penalties. Also, the most creative thing I've ever seen Murrow do was today. It was a rollout pooch punt by Delora at the end of the second quarter. It really put me in awe at the moment, just shocked that he had it in the playbook. It was awesome. However, after this punt, USC drove 93 yards and scored on a great seam route from Jackson Dart to Gary Bryant Jr., who had the linebackers and safeties just lost. They were literally spinning around and trying to find the ball in the play. The Cougs were up 14-7 at half. Now I'll give you content warning right now. The second half, how do I put this lightly? The second half, WSU just did not fare well. On 7 drives in the second half, not counting the drive to end the game, USC scored 5 out of those 7 drives. Trevor Harris fumbled on the kickoff return to open the half and gave USC great field position, in which they took advantage of and scored on a pass to star wide receiver Drake London. Drake London was a massive part of the second half resurgence by USC. On the day, in the pouring rain, he didn't even get a play in the fourth quarter due to a head injury. The man's had 13 receptions, 170 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I was able to witness him moss multiple players today, and it was quite the scene. Jaden Delora was injured in this game as well. I believe it was from the hit that ended the first half, but he came out with a knee brace on and was walking awkwardly. Due to this, Victor Gabalis started the second half, but couldn't get anything going. After multiple drives and failings by Gabalis, including a sack fumble in the end zone that led to a USC touchdown, Delora re-entered the game. He immediately threw a pick, being 2 of the 6 turnovers by both teams in the second half. Jackson Dart played incredible today, shredding apart the WSU defense like barbecue chicken. He had a wonderful second half, going 30 for 46 on the game and passing for 391 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He also led his team in rushing with 32 yards. He helped lead the Trojans to victory, scoring 45 unanswered and routing the Cougs.
There was a multitude of injuries for the Cougars today, and they just couldn't fight off the injury bug. They face a good Utah team next week who has a solid defense. I'm Trevor Junt, reporting from GESA Field on Unorthodox Sports.